Lunch. Everybody is very comfortable, but we will try to grab your attention and do our best. So I come from a country called Malaysia. We are sitting, if you don't know Malaysia, where is it? It's between Singapore and Thailand. We have a population of about 32 million people, and we have a unique monarchy kind of a democracy because we have about 13 kings in our country, representing the 13 states that we have. So let's not waste our time and start our presentation. Just before I start, as a former regulator, I always put a disclaimer to make sure that whatever I say today is not going to be offensive to anybody that I'm speaking to today, because this is my first time coming to Korea. I love Korea, K-pop and the drama and all those entertainment industry, and I admire the ability of Korean in terms of doing marketing and branding, because you definitely have very well organized and very thoughtful process in terms of doing this. Just back to my disclaimer, I apologize if whatever that I say today is sexist, racist, and not actually following the tradition of Korea, because I don't understand the Korean tradition that well. But if you really want to complain or make a suggestion about what I said today, you can send it to my email. Yeah? So let's start the presentation. This is, I'm going to talk about Islamic finance. This is a unique area where Malaysia is a number one country in the world as far as Islamic economy, Islamic finance is concerned. There's a lot of opportunities, there's a lot of potential, and there's a lot of places where you can do business, especially if you augment financial technology in whatever that you want to do going forward. The market for Islamic economy is huge. There's about 54 members of the Organization of Islamic Countries. Half of them are very wealthy, and they are actually looking and very hungry in terms of looking for partners. And fortunately for Malaysia, we have been there as number one position for the last 10 years. And we hope to continue to expand that position with partnership from Korea especially, because there's a lot of potential for Islamic finance to grow either in Korea or also in ASEAN, where Malaysia is situated and located. Just to let you know, Islamic finance is a bit unique because it really are not similar to the capitalist model. This morning, when you heard about how capitalist economy work, Islamic finance is a little bit different, fundamentally different, and this is where I'm going to explain a little bit further about what it is. So, as far as Malaysia is concerned, only 62% of businesses in Malaysia are connected through the internet, and only 18% has web presence. So you can see there's a lot of upside in terms of doing business with the Malaysian businesses and economy. And a lot of the companies that's already on the web or connected through internet are export-oriented entity. And largely, there's a lot of small and medium enterprises are not yet connected. So we have about 900,000 SMEs in Malaysia, and as you can see, only about 18% is having a web presence. Yeah? And many of those who are already on the internet are manufacturing based, but there's a lot of others in finance, in service, in agriculture, in health, and a lot of other areas that is not yet on the web. The problem that we saw in our country is digital connectivity is not that good. It is still improving. We've just launched 5G on the 18th of April, but that's only confined to the capital city for the moment. It's a 3-year project that the government is embarking in terms of going for 5G. And digital entrepreneurship is something that is only very focused to those who can speak English. So many Malaysians have problems speaking with English, but only those who live in cities are able to take out this advantage. And our inland revenue are also only now coming up with legislation in terms of trying to get tax money from digital economy. All this while, digital economy is not taxed, so that's quite a lot in terms of opportunity loss as far as Malaysia is concerned. So this is the companies that are now members to the Fintech Association of Malaysia. There's about 166 of them, and as you can see, not all of them are Malaysian companies. Many of them are foreign-based companies, and it's quite easy to establish business actually in Malaysia. So when it comes to Islamic banking or Islamic economy or Islamic finance, there's quite a different basic and elements that need to be understood. Yeah. So in Islamic economy or Islamic banking, it is based on service oriented. It is not about just asset and liability management, not like typical bank where you put money and you let the money grow. It is like a combination of asset management, investment management, together with trading combined, and this is where the bank and the depositors take risks together. Okay? Not like the typical conventional banking. Yeah? And it is always asset backed, and as I said, it's trade related, and it has to be value adding. So you can't really just get into trading, but if it doesn't create any value, so that will not be acceptable as far as the Islamic economy is concerned. And it's always based on buyer and seller, and there must be a written contract all the time, and the terms and conditions must be mutually agreed between the two parties. Okay? And of course, fairness is the foundation, and there is also something different from what the capitalist banking or the conventional banking is doing. So if I put it in a summary, yeah, Sharia banking or Islamic banking is based on trade, but conventional banking is based on capitalistic model. All right? And then for profit sharing, the sharing will be more equal between the depositors and the bank compared to the conventional bank, where it's always the bank who's going to win. And the way the conventional bank look at the depositors is always about debtors and creditors as far as loan is concerned. But in the Islamic banking side, it is always seen as profit and loss sharing, and it's always about sharing of risk between the two parties. Okay? And there's always going to be tangible asset that needs to be shared. This morning I shared with you that I have done a couple of Islamic contracts that I have put technology on it. I use mobile airtime as the commodity, as the asset. I use plastic resin as the commodity of it. If you want to know more, I can explain to you how it is done. I do not want to spend too much time about it today. But because of that, I have managed to get about 40 banks in Malaysia to use that technology, and we are able to give out loan within 7 minutes for every application. Because we use technology and because we are able to commoditize some of the assets that we've identified just now, which is mobile airtime as well as plastic resin. And of course, for conventional banking, value creation is always for the bank, not for the depositors. But in Islamic banking or Sharia banking, it is for both the depositors as well as for the bank. And it's always mutual in terms of the terms and conditions that you created, so that everybody will get benefit from it. Just to show you what is the focus of Malaysian government, especially the financial regulators, in terms of moving the nation forward as far as financial technology is concerned. Payment, of course, is one of the most advanced things that we have always promoted in the country. There's about 43 different payment players in Malaysia, although we are only 32 million in population. Okay, that's quite a lot compared to what China have. But that's where the innovation comes in because of the competition. The second one is we are embarking on digital banking as well as open banking. This will be done together at the same time. And we are expected to receive and start receiving application by end of this year for digital bank as well as open banking, both conventional banking as well as Islamic banking. And then we have started to accept application for digital asset exchange, where all certain type of cryptocurrency will be allowed to be traded on an exchange approved by the Securities Commission in Malaysia. And we are also now exploring the possibility of raising fund using ICO and STO, initial coin offering and tokenization, as methods to do fundraising in Malaysia. The good thing is the regulators are now open. They are asking for opinion from the industry, so they do not want to make the same mistake like what they have done before, where they thought they know everything. But now the regulators in Malaysia are very open, and they are trying to move as fast as possible in terms of catching up with the movement of financial technology. And now the focus, the fourth focus, is we're looking at value-based solution. What it means is when you do innovation, innovation is not just because you are advancing technology, but the innovation must be to add value to humanity. If you have an innovation but it doesn't add value to humanity, or it will replace human role, we will not want that kind of innovation. We want innovation that's adding value to human, and human can improve your lifestyle, your livelihood, your work-life balance. That's what we want in Malaysia, so that's what we are looking for. And we are focusing on augmented mobility, or we are talking about making life easy for people who are providing services and receiving services. Okay, cloud technology, I know that this is not a new technology, but as far as regulation is concerned, only last December our regulators start to accept the usage of cloud technology. So this is quite a big breakthrough as far as financial services in Malaysia is concerned, because we are now able to put the core banking system on cloud. And what it means is when you put your core banking system on cloud, you are able to save your CapEx and OpEx, your capital expenditure and operational expenditure, up to 60 to 65%. That's a huge cost saving for a long term. Okay, and the central bank is focusing on mobile first strategy. If you have a business model, it must be focusing on mobile first. You cannot be using physical appearance or fixed asset infrastructure. You must use mobile technology. So this is why a lot of companies in Malaysia are looking at machine learning and AI-based financial services to take advantage of this new way forward as far as regulation is concerned. And when we talk about all these 5 elements, then we have a problem, because now the speed of doing business has increased. A bank will then receive a lot of information, regulators will receive a lot of information, so now we need to develop regulatory technology. How do you then look into doing big data analytics to all the information that you get? So this is another focus, and this is also focusing further down to how do you do KYC and CDD, customer due diligence, effectively and accurately at all times. You must be able to do that, because I give you an example. If banking transaction can be reduced from 24 hours to 2 minutes, that means 2 minutes in a day. Under 24 hours, you have an explosion of data as far as transaction is concerned. Last time, you probably could manage data using Excel spreadsheet, But in future, with digitization, you are not able to do so. You need to have regulatory technology. So this is another angle where it could create systemic risk to financial services. So this is where another angle where we're looking at together with the financial regulators on how to develop this. So, looking at how bank look like in the future, it could look like this. This is nothing like what the bank that you know today, because all the services that you see on the screen is not housed under one entity. Currently, bank would like to do everything under one roof. But what is going to happen in the near future, which is I think between 1 to 3 years from now, is many services will be unbundled away from the bank. Yeah, the bank will just become an ecosystem platform providers. One of the choices is to do this, yeah, for the bank. So if you're working in a bank, think about how you're going to create value for your employer, or if you are the owner of the bank, think about how your bank could look like this in the next 12 months to the next 36 months. Because if you don't turn a bank to be this, and if you remain like how you are today, you will be irrelevant to the younger customers. Yeah? So as far as Fintech Association of Malaysia is concerned, we are not just thinking about digitizing a bank, both incumbents as well as the Islamic banking, but we are looking at how we can help current businesses to grow and make major impact and get 10 times more achievement compared to what they do now. So we come up with the 5 pillar plans. When we look at talent, for example, we are now not hiring people based on the traditional way of hiring people. We are now looking at hiring people based on freelancing, for example. We are not hiring people on a permanent basis, but we are using the concept of gig economy. Okay? For example, in my company, I do not receive written CV anymore. I request for a video CV. 3 minutes video CV about who you are, what you can do, and how you can contribute. So I don't waste my time, and I don't waste the applicant's time. 3 minutes video CV. With that, I think giving more value going forward. The second thing about talent is, if let's say you have been working in a bank for the last 20 to 30 years, how are you going to change your skill set from what you know to what's going to happen in the future? So you need to be able to relearn new skill. So we have established a COE, or Center of Excellence, to retrain current employees in the banking sector, for them to be retrained and understand about the new way of doing financial services, including banking. All right? And as far as funding is concerned, now when we look at the SMEs in our country, we are no longer asking the bank to give them money. We are now establishing about 14 alternative funding platforms that's focusing on peer-to-peer lending as well as equity crowdfunding platform. So we've raised about 150 million for about 4,000 SMEs last year, and we are set to give out more license to many other platforms so that the role of giving out funding to startups are faster and easier for SMEs. But the focus is not on startup only, but we are focusing on company that is growing and able to scale up. One mistake that Malaysia have made was, I don't know whether you know a company called Grab Taxi. We lost Grab Taxi to Singapore because we did not fund Grab Taxi. So they moved to Singapore and have their HQ in Singapore, and the only money that Singapore gives to them is only 25 million US dollars. We Malaysians at that point of time did not realize the opportunity, and now Grab is valued more than $1 billion as of today. So that's a lost opportunity. That's why we are advising government to refocus on high growth and scalable company rather than just at the startup companies. Okay, and branding. This is one of the reasons why I come to Korea, because I want to learn from Korea how to do branding. As we discussed just now during lunch, Korea is one of the places where people are always dressed nicely. People always look beautiful. They have nice hair, nice outfit. If you come to Malaysia, you'll be disappointed because they don't dress as nice as you guys. Yeah. So this is why I want to know, how does Korea actually do branding? From event management to the way you speak, to the way you carry yourself, and the way you then market your company and how you go to market. Because even with language barrier, Korea is able to sell your product and services all over the world. Who doesn't know Samsung in the world? Samsung handphone. I don't think many people in Korea use iPhone. Yeah, everybody probably use Huawei or Samsung. And your car, I personally have used Kia and Hyundai before. Back in the 90s. Back in the 90s, the car wasn't that good. But now the car is very, very good. Yeah, as good as the other continental car. So this is the kind of things that I need to learn and I need to apply to our financial services in Malaysia. And then when you talk about technology implementation, I love the speech given by your Vice Minister on technology and science this morning, where she talked about how the focus from manufacturing to other sectors have grown over the years. This is one thing that Malaysia needs to learn from Korea as well, especially when we want to promote technology in Islamic finance. So this is why I think there's potential, not just potential, but huge potential for Korean company to venture into the Islamic economy through Malaysia, because it's a tremendously huge potential. ASEAN alone, 660 million people. And if you talk about the Islamic population in the world, there's already 1.8 billion people. And this is not about the religion, but this is another ecosystem that you can leverage on, and you do not have to be a Muslim to do economic based on Islamic fundamentals. Okay, and environment. Okay, internal environment. Try hiring new guys now and ask them to work like how you worked 30 years ago. The youngsters doesn't want to work with old companies. The youngsters want to work where they can work from home, they can have flexibility, and they can have respect from the seniors. Okay? This is the kind of culture that we have or trying to develop in Malaysia, so that the younger generation are able to be going into the working force faster than before and feeling that they are contributing positively to the workplace. The corporate culture needs to change, and we are changing it now in Malaysia, so that we do not have many hierarchies. We have open space concept, we have flexible working hours, we are allowing women, especially mothers, to work from home as long as you deliver the job. So I know that a lot of women felt that they have to stay at home, take care of the children and raise the children while the husband go out and work. But what we're trying to do in Malaysia is we try to equalize this. We give opportunities to women. You can work from home as long as you can deliver what you are supposed to deliver. So you don't need to come to the office, but you still can contribute positively. And externally, we are also educating the government as well as the regulators, because these are potential organizations that could make or break the effort. Imagine if the regulators doesn't want to cooperate with you, you cannot work with, you cannot become a financial service provider if the regulators doesn't approve what you want to do. And if the government doesn't want to give you the incentive, not many things can move forward. Yeah. So these are continuously and simultaneously being pushed by Fintech Association of Malaysia. We engage with as many politicians and ministers possible for this effort to go forward. So when we talk to the government about building a 10x ecosystem, that's where under the BAU, the business as usual, we look at the talent, funding, branding, technology implementation and environment as I explained just now. But how do we do it? We have 4 approach. Okay, one is to focus. So what's our focus? Our focus is looking at the new economy based on Islamic economy or Sharia compliant economy. Okay, and then we look at the effort of what's important, what's material as far as our effort is concerned. We will not partner with people who are not aligned in the mindset that we have. And we think that Korea is in line with what we have. Okay, because I think not many banks in Korea, not many financial services in Korea are exploring Islamic finance. That's an opportunity. Okay, and of course, viability. You want to do things that make money. You do not want to just do things that doesn't make money. Okay, that's focus. And of course, the last bit is how to do it with the simplest way, not the complex way. I'm not saying that we are trying to not work hard, but we are trying to do it with the fastest way because we do not have time. We must make sure that we move very, very fast. And the result that we are focusing on is we are trying to get into a culture where we have financial discipline, we are increasing productivity, we are fast with speed, okay, and we are always relevant to the stakeholder, especially to the customers, to the regulators. And we would want to have regulation that is proactive and facilitative, as well as we are empowering all the stakeholders that we have, including our partners, to make sure that everybody is feeling and understanding that everybody is equal. So that's why this morning, when the second vice president was talking about winners take all, I disagree. Winners doesn't take all. In the new economy, it's not about zero-sum game. It's about collaboration. What we do is, instead of sitting on one table, we are now sitting in many tables. And we can share that pie if we can grow it as big as possible. So it doesn't matter whether you are sitting here or sitting there, but if you are sitting in a large enough pie table, I think everybody will get their own value. Okay, that's one of the things that I'm trying to also change as far as our government is concerned. So, to sum up of what I said, look at what's your passion. And my passion is looking and telling you stories about how Islamic economy can benefit Malaysia and Korea and other partners that's interested. Okay? And I know that Korea is best at your work culture, your discipline, and your focus when you decide to work together with, hopefully with Malaysia. And then we can create the economic engine together and focus on how we can take advantage to create more value as far as Islamic and Sharia economy is concerned. Okay, so with that, I'll end my presentation and let me know if you have